What do you do when your own parents treat you like you're always second best, and everything that's meant to be yours is handed over to your sister? If you've ever felt invisible in your family, or watched someone else get all the praise while you got blamed, smash that like button, subscribe, and get ready for a story about emotional warfare, underestimation, and the wedding they never saw coming. For as long as I can remember, I wasn't the favorite. It wasn't subtle either. If my sister accused me of something, I was punished without question. If I said she did something, even with proof, they'd still take her side, give her a lighter punishment, and somehow find a way to blame me too. Why couldn't they see me? I didn't scream for attention, I just wanted fairness. My chest felt hollow at every family celebration. I shrank into my seat, imagining invisible ink erasing me. Even my birthday cake had to be her favorite flavor. My parents always pretended not to know I didn't like it. She always got slightly more gifts. We always went to places she liked, even when the occasion was for me. My sister never really cared for me. At first she just ignored me, but once we hit our teenage years, things got worse. She had no friends, and suddenly I became the enemy. I was decently popular, I had friends, and that made her furious. She began accusing me of everything. She lied about my friends, and eventually, my parents stopped letting me see anyone at all. They'd say things like, "Your sister says they're bad people," or "Why can't you stay home like your sister?" The only thing that saved me from total isolation was our extended family. Most of them lived in the same town, and I got along with my cousins. At one gathering, when they invited me to hang out, I innocently said, "I'm not allowed because I have friends and my sister doesn't." That truth bomb made it to the adults, and they tore my parents apart. Of course, I was grounded afterward, accused of lying and banned from going anywhere for a month. But after that they eased up just a little. It was worth it. Soon after, my sister switched schools. I guess the shame of extended family, knowing she had no friends, was too much. My parents paid extra for her to go to a school farther away, and she did make friends there, but she never went back to just ignoring me. Once she saw how much power she had over my life, she didn't let go. Her new friends came over and bullied me. My parents brushed it off as light teasing. I never invited friends over again. Either my sister would accuse them of stealing something, or my parents would just be rude. But my cousins, they became my safe space. They were family, and my parents didn't dare treat them the same way. Then came my first boyfriend. I didn't want to bring him home, but my parents insisted. One day, we were separated at the house, and he came rushing to me, uncomfortable and irritated. He said my sister had approached him in revealing clothes, trying to flirt, and told him terrible things about me. He left to come find me immediately. But of course my sister told my parents the opposite, that he had tried to flirt with her, and she heroically turned him down for my sake. Guess who my parents believed? Now, my boyfriend wasn't perfect, but I believed him instantly. And yes, partly for a petty reason. I knew what my sister looked like, how she acted, and I genuinely didn't think he'd be interested in her. I was skinny because I was punished more and got fewer snacks, while my sister, constantly rewarded with food, had become overweight and entitled. She was rude, manipulative, and never had to work for anything. It didn't surprise me. She thought batting her eyelashes would be enough. My parents forbade me from seeing him. We tried in secret, but the pressure ended it. The next boyfriend, same story. She hit on him, he rejected her. She lied, and my parents believed her. They used it to say I had bad judgment and shouldn't date at all. Eventually, people at school started calling me a slut. I didn't sleep around, but I stopped dating and only made out with guys I never introduced to anyone. Ironically, my sister brought home one boyfriend. My parents adored him and endlessly compared me to her. When he disappeared, suddenly he was a manipulative bastard. Typical. The inequality never stopped. She got more money, better curfews, more freedom. When I brought it up, my parents said, "She's older." But when I reached her age, the rules didn't change. Now it was, "She's more trustworthy," based on lies my sister had made up. When she graduated, my parents celebrated like she got into Harvard. In reality, it was a low-ranked school. No scholarship, and her grades were never great. But they paid for everything. I was relieved she'd be away. But she still came home every other weekend and found ways to make my life miserable. Then came my own graduation. My mom sat me down and said, "We can't afford to pay for your college. We're already paying for your sister's." They said it would be better for me to start working, and maybe if she graduated, they'd consider helping me later. And if I wanted to live at home, I'd have to pay rent, bills, and all my expenses. I mentioned student loans. My mom smiled and said no, not unless they personally approved of the college. And I knew they'd never approve of anything. They never even knew what my grades were, they never cared. But I wasn't surprised, I never expected help. I had already been preparing for this, studying hard, focusing on my freedom, and I won a scholarship, a full one, not Ivy League or medical school, but a good college with everything paid. I told my parents at the same time, I posted about it on social media. I even thanked them publicly, not because I meant it, but to trap them. They couldn't say no without looking like monsters. At first they pretended to be proud. Then I guess my sister got in their ear. They tried to convince me not to go, claiming my sister wasn't doing well in college and I'd struggle even more. I didn't budge. College saved me. I stayed in touch during holidays, but I avoided bringing home any boyfriends. Eventually my sister dropped out and moved back home. No rent, no bills. Got a job at mom's workplace thanks to nepotism. Of course they bragged about it. Then I met my husband. He's the type who doesn't just say, if I were in that situation. He actually does it. Where I cry and freeze up, he acts. He's bold, sharp, and absolutely ruthless when someone wrongs him or me. He encouraged me to share this story. When we got engaged, we didn't care much about the ceremony. We wanted a dream honeymoon in Europe. His family was scattered, mine was local. So we decided to have the wedding in my hometown. My parents, of course, demanded to meet him. I didn't want to, I thought maybe they'd changed. My husband, on the other hand, saw it as an opportunity. He went, secretly recording everything. He came back almost giddy. "Babe, you won't believe the crap they just said. We can destroy them." He told me, my parents offered to pay for our wedding, if my sister could walk down the aisle first, in a wedding dress, on my big day. Their excuse, she's older, it's only fair. My husband, quick on his feet, pretended to agree. He said I was emotional and controlling, that I might not cause a scene if surprised. But to be safe, let's not put anything in writing. All meetings would happen in person. That's how we played them. We let them think they were manipulating us, but we turned every decision into a trap. When picking food, we chose the cheapest options. Then my husband took my sister to, secretly, try the better ones and acted like he felt bad denying her. She'd whine to my parents, and they'd upgrade and pay more. Same with flowers, same with the photographer. They wanted me to wear a hideous dress. I refused in text, so they had proof. But my husband pretended to sabotage my real dress and brought them fabric scraps as evidence. They believed it. The whole time they thought they were outsmarting me. But we hired security with one clear instruction: don't let my sister in. On the wedding day, they executed their plan. My dad got everyone seated. He stood by the entrance, ready for my sister. The music played. Doors opened, but it was me who walked in. My dad's face froze. He mumbled something and walked away. Guests gasped. A friend in on the plan yelled, "Wait, what did he mean by it's not supposed to be you?" Then she ran off, causing chaos to delay my parents. My husband's father ran up and walked me down the aisle. I nearly cried, not just from joy, but because I truly didn't think they'd try to replace me on my own wedding day. I still wanted to believe they weren't that awful, but they were. My husband whispered to me during the ceremony, "You looked so sad, I almost broke character." Meanwhile outside, my sister arrived in a wedding dress. Security refused her entry, saying there's already a bride. My dad argued, my mom begged. Guests came out, saw the chaos. My sister started screaming and crying on the floor. They tried blaming my husband. He showed up completely innocent. Why would I agree to something so insane? He asked, "Where's the proof?" There was none. Everyone turned on them. My sister had a breakdown. My mom sobbed, my dad threatened violence. But nobody bought their story. They were escorted out. Back at the party, everyone treated me like royalty. No one told me what happened, probably out of kindness. My husband eventually broke into a grin. We danced, we laughed, and we celebrated the most important part. They didn't ruin it. After the wedding, my sister sent me a deranged message. My husband took screenshots and posted everything to our family group chat, asking for help protecting us from harassment. Everyone supported us, and since then, silence. Sweet, peaceful silence. For the first time, justice didn't just arrive, we planned it. And it was beautiful.